Sweden says its hunt for a phantom submarine in the Baltic Sea is entering what it calls a new phase. The country is actually scaling back the search after 6 days of their biggest military mobilization in decades. World headlines were quick to claim it was nothing less than a Russian sub that is being hunted by Stockholm in a Cold War-style drama. And even though Swedish officials themselves seem to have no idea what they were looking for exactly, some TV channels were determined it has something to do with Moscow anyway.
It could be a submarine. It could be a diver using some form of moped-like underwater vehicle. And it could be divers that don't have any business on our territory. I think that's the scope of what could be called foreign underwater activity.
Now, Peter Oliver reports how the Swedish Defence Force turned into something of a farce.
Well, it's been called a new phase by the Swedish Navy, but what it means is, well, they've failed in finding anything that they were looking for or they thought was there in their waters. Really, the operation has been scaled back massively from the amount of naval hardware that was involved, from stealth ships to the latest technologies for searching under the surface of the water. It had started to look like a scene from the movie or the book The Hunt for Red October, in which a Soviet submarine is pursued by the United States. And it's produced quite a bit of mockery online as to what Sweden was actually looking for. The operation is still continuing, as I say, in its scaled back form. But what it is, one of the things that they have actually asked people who live in the Swedish archipelago now, that if you go out onto the beach, if you go out near the coastline, make sure you have a camera or a cell phone with you that you can take pictures with, just in case you're the one that spots this particular submarine. Also, we've seen, well, really paranoia kick in as everybody was looking to try and grab a shot of this. One local newspaper said that they had exclusive pictures of a boat filled with heavily armed men. Well, that turned out to be a boat that had been chartered by a rival newspaper and was filled with journalists looking for exactly the same thing. So nothing found so far. One thing I can tell you is Swedish archipelago where they're looking is absolutely beautiful, so may even turn out to be Nessie on its holidays.
Now, the Swedish Defense Ministry had released what it calls photo evidence of an alien object in their waters. But internet users altered the image with a picture of Vladimir Putin, jokingly suggesting him doing the butterfly stroke was a foreign intruder. Others guessed it was a bored Loch Ness monster that decided to visit the Baltic waters. Well, defense spending is not a top priority in Sweden, but the Baltic hide-and-seek did prompt Stockholm to promise more money for the military budget. Defense analyst Ivan Eland says it was an embarrassing episode for the government.
Like any other military bureaucracy in the world, they would probably use this alleged threat to get more money, whether it exhibits their incompetence or not. So they'll just blame their incompetence on the fact that they don't have enough money, enough ships, they don't have any anti-submarine warfare aircraft because they phased them out in 2008, and they're not going to get any more until 2018. So they'll say stuff like that we just don't have the equipment and the money to do this. But I think it's pretty embarrassing for the Swedish military overall.